Our Earth is currently undergoing a mass climate change. We, as the major inhabitants of this planet, have a huge influence over Earth. Our efforts have undoubtedly resulted in major progress, but this progress has come with a price. Don't you think it's our responsibility to fix this? The recent climate changes on Earth have been caused by human activities. It traces back to the Great Industrial Revolution that occurred some 200 years ago. And while it indeed has undoubtedly given us unimaginable improvements in the way people live, it also brought a historically high level of carbon emissions in Earth's whole history. Once we all become independent, we need to finally face the burden that our previous generations have left us. We will be just as guilty if we fed into the destruction of the environment without paying back to the Earth for the lifestyle that we've enjoyed thus far. The 2015 Paris Agreement is just the war of our century, the 21st century. But while the agreement was aimed to eliminate carbon emissions by 2050, most countries' pledges were deemed highly insufficient. It is disappointing that when we were finally provided a chance to fight a proper war, a righteous war to protect the common home against a much greater common enemy, we harbored the same weak will and weak commitment that had caused the crumbling of the League of Nations. How could the nations be so collaborative in their own homicide, but now we are so disunited fighting against something that is fracturing the entire globe? We're disunited because our enemy is extremely clever. It has quietly invaded our beaches, silently starved our crops, and stealthily suffocated our cities. Yet people are not as outraged as when it was done by a soldier. The enemy attacks in a manner that is as elusive, invisible, and deadly as cyanide gas. These greenhouse gases try to exploit our disunity through the bystander effect. In short, we assume other people will act for us without us needing to take actions ourselves. For example, someone sees trash on the ground, but they disregard it and expect someone else to pick it up. Or when we all assume that another student will answer the teacher's questions for us, which just results in silence. As such, we expect the country or the UN to save us, and the previous generations expect us to save ourselves. But if we cannot achieve a united command, then we can at least try for a united effort. For that, we need independent groups to take independent actions to join us in the war against climate change. The Earth does not need more signatures on paper. The Earth needs people who take action. We're all still students, but more than 70% of us will likely forget about our environment once we graduate, and we must not let that happen. To our future heroes, plant a tree in your home as a symbolic reminder of your pledge to the Earth. Plant a tree precisely because it is hard. To grow yourself as someone who does what needs to be done, even if it is hard on yourself. Join us on the Green Signature Project. We are only 6 years into this global war, but the UN has issued its final warning that carbon emission must be completely eliminated by 2050, before it is too late to prevent it from gaining unstoppable momentum. Us as humans must live on to tell the tale so that our history will continue forever. To do that, we cannot afford to underestimate such a big issue. We must make an environment for our children to survive, for their children to survive, and all the generations that will live after. It is no longer about allowing our children to be able to see the polar bears. It is now about survival. Just one simple step, we can make the world a better place, even if it's just by slightly. Now let us plant the seed of revolution. Starting with just one simple action and a collective effort, shall we create change?